Welcome to Fargo Talks Fargo, an unofficial podcast on the FX television series. Fargo Talks Fargo is hosted by me, Bill, and my buddy, Sharpie.
Hey now.
This season of Fargo Talks Fargo is sponsored by Fargo Brewing and their Wood Chipper IPA, as well as by Audible.com. Tune in more so you can find out details. Tune in more? Let's just do this, Sharpie. We're all
Tune
jacked
in
up
more.
tonight. We're all jacked up tonight. I can't
Shot
stop
out of
myself.
a cannon today.
I know.
What an episode.
I know.
So excited.
Season
What a
2,
season.
episode 5. The Gift of the Magi.
Fucking A, man.
Oh,
Finally a story I didn't have to look up either to watch the episode.
yeah, right?
It's like, oh, the Gift of the Magi. Sweet. Now I know what to look for.
I was going to tell you shortly before we just said, screw it, let's just start rolling, that
What?
I usually kind of take some notes as I'm going, really light notes, but I just stopped. I just couldn't do it even. I was watching TV like a regular person.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I think somewhere after I took the note, Charlie is a smitten kitten.
Is it because you could no longer hold the notepad on your lap?
I was quite flush with excitement.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so we've got erstwhile in Fargo.
Yeah, that's the first time I've heard that. Have I been missing it every episode, or?
I'm thinking the exact same thing. I thought you were going to be able to answer me, man.
Nope. That was the first time I heard it. And that's only if you're watching it live on FX. You don't get that if you buy the episode on iTunes.
Oh, there's our problem. No? Wait. But we have been watching live. Okay, whatever.
We watch live and then we rewatch by purchasing the show.
Well, here's what I can say.
What can you say?
If you haven't
Tell us what you
watched this episode, stop listening now, because in about 5 seconds, I'm going to ruin this episode for you. 2, 1. Wow, they killed a whole bunch of flippin' people.
Hey, well, we knew war was coming on this episode. We knew episode 5. It was coming. It was a culmination of so many things that we knew that this was going to kick off the war, and they did it with a bang, man. They did it they went over the top.
Yes.
I was not expecting within the first 5 minutes 12 people to die.
All to the beat of the Bruce Campbell drum as Reagan.
That's right.
Quite interesting juxtaposition, all the stuff that's happening, all the things going on. Did you? I was like, I know it's a small town, but Constance was sitting with Betsy.
Well, I mean,
Small
there's
town.
probably 80 people in that town. I wonder what the population of Laverne was in 1979.
You should try the Google.
I wish there was just somehow we could look that up.
Well, there is some place you can look it up. It's called the interweb. Probably didn't exist in 79 in its fully fleshed form it is now, but I mentioned the interesting thing about the softer side of Bear as he sheds some tears for Rye.
Yeah, well, we knew he was a little bit of a softie.
I don't think Dodd gives a shit, period, as long as he gets what he wants.
The interesting thing is about Dodd, and Dodd's been trying to capitalize. Dodd's been playing this chess game for a while now. I'm telling you, he's been setting up this war. And right in the beginning when they're doing the split screen stuff and you see Dodd and Hansi meet out in front of the Gerhardt home, and Hansi's telling him, look, I got Rye's belt buckle. He's definitely dead. What does Dodd do? He immediately spins that around into a plot that will benefit him. A storyline that will. He's like, okay, here's what we're gonna do. You're gonna tell Floyd that he was killed by a hitman from KC, not just some random nobody butcher. It was the butcher from KC, a very well-known hitman. When in reality, Hansi knew it was just Ed Blomquist. A nobody.
Yeah, he basically pitched it as it was like talent hired.
I wonder, I mean, I don't think Hansi would be afraid of Dodd, but for some reason he's super loyal to him despite Dodd treating Hansi as if he's a slave.
Yeah. Well, I think that's I think for the most part, outside of Charlie and the people who are directly under him, I don't think Dodd really respects anybody. So that said, he gives the whole line about Ma, it's war, and then a little time he's like, see? I mean, geez.
See,
although
I told you.
there was a nice touch on the point I think I brought up earlier this season again about the age of the local mom and pop is over. And I thought it was an interesting play that they were going hunting, but yet had no idea that they were the ones being hunted.
Yes, that was beautiful.
Because I saw those guns and I was like, what the hell are they doing with all these stupid rifles?
They got rifles, they got shotguns, they got bow and arrow. Or they're not even like, well, certainly they're not paying attention to the law. They're just probably going out for some, like, they're just like fox hunting.
Yeah.
They're just going on a parade. Because you're not going to be out there with all those different types of weapons.
So much for having a deer stand and a blind.
Yeah, they're just going to walk around.
Yeah. I do. So I still have to ask.
Like a bunch of nobles.
Quick notes that I have. The kitchens are badass. Joe Bulo's a pussy. Hansi is a bad motherfucker. And I love the fact that Carl brought up a bedtime for Bonzo reference to Ronald Reagan's career.
Yeah.
Doesn't want to shake it. What was it? Something about I don't remember what he said. Did he say I don't want to shake hands with the man like on principle?
Right, something like that, yeah.
I got to Google this. What time bedtime for Bonzo? My I never honestly forget bedtime for Bonzo ever because my parents back in the day rented it on like the VCR and we all watched it.
As a family?
Yeah, we did. 1951 Bedtime for Bonzo starring Ronald Reagan.
You were about 15, 16?
You're a dick. I would guess I was 5 or 6 when we watched it maybe, so it was 1980, 81. Old enough. Anyway, that has nothing to do with anything, but it's stuck in my head. The couple great Carl lines, the bedtime for Bonzo line. Ask him if it's true if Joan Crawford has crabs, and lose just like immediate response of like, yeah, I'm not going to do that.
2 grown men cry within the first 20 minutes, probably, right?
Yes. Carl Weathers at Reagan's speech. And
you see,
if
Carl is supposed to be sort of this transposed version of
Walter,
I don't see Walter crying. Or does Walter have a soft side too?
He
might.
Given the time period, maybe Walter's just a little different. Think about when The Big Lebowski takes place in time. He's had time to harden. He's seen things, Anyway,
I want to see some sort of movie that bridges this 1979 with The Big Lebowski.
Oh, that'd be fun. So Peggy's a hoarder.
Yeah, I have that in my notes. I haven't even shared my notes with you yet, and I was like, Peggy the hoarder, huh?
Yeah.
That whole basement is ready to it's kindling.
It's a tinderbox.
She's got 10,000 magazines in that basement.
We've all long been saying that she lives vicariously through a world she doesn't completely know, and that's why she's got a magazine that we clearly saw called Wandering Magazine with the topic of the big cities. not like Hollywood, like we've seen New York. She's like, I don't care where, the big cities, any place warm. Hey, how about some serious tension? I knew there was a head in that box, didn't you?
I think we called that on like the first Hotdish. No, we didn't call it, but we did have a 7 reference at some point, I think, with John.
What's in the box?
What's in the box? And then there happens to be a box. That is phenomenal. I was jumping up and down, man. This whole episode I was jumping up and down.
You're excitable. right
I'm
now.
excitable.
I tweeted at Rachel Keller, who plays Simone, that because I was being, clever, that interesting that she's now.
Or are you being? There's a difference between being clever and being a creeper, Bill.
I was being clever. I said,
Really?
that her character is now under the thumb of Mike Milligan. And did you you want to talk about creeper? There? You want to talk about creeper? I can't tell the two, Gail and Wade, or Wayne Kitchen, whatever his name is. He was literally, his nose was in the back of Simone's head, and like if you go when we watch that back tomorrow, when Mike's like running his hand up her thigh, look at the knuckles on the Kitchen brother. They're just white. Like everything in that guy is it's a pressure cooker ready to explode. I that guy's gonna go bonzo on somebody.
Absolutely, because in their mind, she screwed them over. When in reality, she probably didn't know anything about it because she's just not in the mix with that family. She is an outsider, and as you pointed out, off air, her wardrobe is just a splash of colors. She's mixed up. She's a little bit of everybody. She's just in this sort of, I don't know, this different zone, this purgatory of
she doesn't
Gerhardt's and KC and everything.
She doesn't belong anywhere.
She doesn't belong anywhere. She's in limbo.
I feel bad
and
for
now
her.
She has no safe spot.
No, she
clearly can't go back to, well, I mean, she's not trusted by the Gerhardts, as Dodd proves all the time. I mean, Floyd had her back a little bit towards the end there. I mean, Floyd has her back for sure. But Floyd's not going to be there all the time. And now she's on edge with KC, so she's put herself in a little bit of a pickle.
I haven't had time to read it, and I know I forwarded it to you, so I'm going to bring this up. That we got an email from Ruben. He pointed out some stuff we've been talking about, just that war is inevitable because of Dodd, and they maybe didn't for sure want that, except Dodd keeps pushing the envelope, and he's Ruben's saying that Dodd's not going to survive, and he literally said if Floyd brings Joe Bulo Dodd's head, which is funny to me because it was the complete other way around, that basically Dodd and Hansi delivered Joe Bulo's head.
That's interesting.
So Ruben's on to something here, and he's got this, and we got to get back to him. But he noted all the symmetry and all that stuff, and I still think it's crazy. One's left-handed, one's right-handed, and that was the other thing he noted. He said that Ruben said that Malvo, the dentist's fiance, said, "quote, I'm going to stick my whole thumb up your ass later." So if we ever get a chance to talk to Noah Hawley, maybe we need to ask him about what's up with the thumbs.
He's
in
got
the
a thing
ass.
for thumb in the butt, and
yeah. There's also something about people getting stabbed in the skull. But anyway, I still think that Floyd could have some serious blowback if she figures out Dodd was. I mean, and all it's going to take is for
I think
Ed.
she's on to him already.
No, you think so? I think it's only a matter of time until if Ed can manage to keep surviving through his own twists of fate, that she'll find out that he's really just some simple small town butcher.
He's not this notorious hitman called the
butcher
from Laverne.
the butcher of Laverne. So
I think she's on to him. That look that she gave Dodd when he was scolding Simone is like, she knows it's her son. She knows what he's up to. She can see right through every lie he tells, even if she doesn't make it obvious that she knows. I think she knows.
You think so?
Just like any mother knows when their kid is up to no good, and even when they let them, like, even when your mother knows that you're sneaking out tonight, and you're just like, or you're not actually sleeping over at your friend's house, they know that shit.
I never did any of that.
I didn't either.
Good.
I
Good
didn't
kid.
either.
No.
But mothers know that kind of stuff. She knows exactly what he's up to.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not exactly, but she knows something's fishy.
Yeah. So I'm going to take a quick break here just to tell you to go to audibletrial.com/Fargo Talks Fargo, and we've got an affiliate account with Audible. So if you go there and you sign up using that link, we'll get some credit, and they give us a little bit of a cut. Not a lot, but enough. And here's the thing. If you want to know what we think about Audible, you've been listening to the podcast all season. We actually really love Audible. I think it's fantastic. I just started another Audible book this last week, and I bought the one that Sharpie recommended, so now I've got actually a back catalog of books, and probably won't get to them all until we're done with this season of Fargo, but I think you should go there and check it out. We've got plenty of recommendations that we've already made in any of the past show links, so if you go to FargoTalksFargo.com and click on any of the shows at the bottom, any of the recommendations are there along with the link. So, thanks to Audible.com for doing that. Again, that is audibletrial.com/FargoTalksFargo. Booyah. Had to get that sponsor thing in there. We got to talk about Fargo Brewing again, but man, there's so much in this show, I feel like we're going to go long.
Well, this is just the hot dish, folks.
That's what I mean.
So, yeah.
The Sisyphus thing was completely telegraphed. Nice conversation about the Camus thing. We got to hear that.
I was wondering if she's going to be reading The Gift of the Magi this time just because of the show, but she's still reading Sisyphus.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot to take in that book. The Albert Camus, is that what it was? No fish either. Can't buy fish at the butcher shop.
Won't allow it.
Wasn't that speaking of your split screens you talked about earlier, that split screen to the kitchen, singular, and Mike Milligan in the car, but there's still a split screen, and the left half of the screen is empty.
Mm-hmm.
So sad.
Too bad, so sad. Sorry, Cajun Bros.
And somewhere around there, after Charlie is a smitten kitten, is where I lost all notes. I just was mostly talking with you. So I mean, I know there's a lot of things that happened. There was a big conversation with Bear and Hansi on the porch. I don't understand. Where's Hansi going? Did I miss something? I did have a small thing happen here at my house where I had to get up and walk away from the TV for a second that I couldn't get away from. So,
I don't know either.
Yeah, I also zoned out and missed. I could swear I heard a Jeff Tweedy voice. I didn't catch. I wasn't enough to catch the song, but that made me happy as a big Wilco / Uncle Tupelo Jeff Tweedy fan, and I'm pretty sure that is. I did inquire about that via Twitter tonight as well, because between the music supervisor, Maggie, her name slipped away from me right now, and Jeff Russo, this music, so good.
And speaking of music, we ended with one of the same songs from episode 1, that Billy Thorpe song, "Children of the Sun." When the UFO came in, we ended with that same song. We haven't heard that song since episode 1, but I thought it was interesting that it came back for the credits.
Well, that and the whole little Molly drawing the UFOs.
Yep. UFOs are still making an appearance on every episode.
Mm-hmm. That Corvair was unsafe at any speed, and Peggy sold it. So that was her pocket watch, if we're going Gift of the Magi for anyone to think about, or her hair, or whatever you want to call it.
Absolutely.
Do you think the burning down of the butcher shop is his sacrifice?
Absolutely, of course it is.
I don't know if I feel like that.
I mean, it wasn't on purpose.
Yeah, I know.
But at least it's just like we said last time. It doesn't have to be perfectly overlapping, but I mean, the same theme is represented.
I hear you.
She sold the car for a butcher shop that no longer exists.
For $700.
At first, you thought she was going to be kind of cool, but then you knew the episode was called "Gift of the Magi," and it was all going to be for nothing.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Right. What else do you want to cover here before we wrap up this hot dish so that we can go deep dive tomorrow night? I'm still loving the colors. I can't stop looking at the reddish, orangish, blue. Some more appearance of some green and the yellows and the things with Simone's dress. I think whoever's doing all these things is a brilliant person, and whoever's color grading all this is still spot on. I will say, so we get Ben Schmidt, right? Back in?
Yes, Ben Schmidt, the
I'm sometimes a little freaked out by how unfazed they are by a bunch of murder.
I thought it was funny that he wanted to. He still didn't want to be a part of it. He's still separate. He offered to have his mom talk to Floyd. Like, yes. He's the police officer, and he's like, well, maybe we should just have the moms talk and take care of it.
Did he call it a shit show?
Yeah, he might have said that. There was the shit word right around that time.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm interested to see him come back into play because I think it's inevitable. There's too much.
I'm not interested in him though. Because he lives and he's just a big fucking pussy.
I don't know. He might have an opportunity to.
He won't do shit. If the shit hits the fan, he's gonna be crouching under the counter.
Well, you'll at least be able to see him get shot then.
Well, he's gonna survive.
Yeah, probably. And by probably, I mean totally.
All right, let's wrap up the hot dish.
Let's do that. Hey, on their way. Before we go though, go to fargobrewing.com and check those guys out. They are making this season happen. They are paying for the sponsorship of this show with their Wood Chipper IPA, but they have many other wonderful, delicious beers throughout the Midwest. So you should go to fargobrewing.com and check that out. So, yeah, I mean, that's about it. That's the feminine side. I didn't even bring that line up. That's the feminine side, Ma.
Well, there's plenty more to get to, obviously.
Oh, I know. They're fuming.
Just a taste, folks.
There's so much going on. That's a lot of bodies.
And if this is your first time listening to the Hot Dish, stay tuned because the Hot Dish is just our quick recap the night of Fargo.
Yeah, I don't even know if it's a recap. It's just reaction, right?
It's a reaction. You're right. It's a reaction. Come Wednesday, the full actual recap will come out.
Yeah. Yeah, and thanks to Ruben for sending in his notes. We appreciate that. Anyone else can do that. You can follow us at Fargo Talks Fargo on Twitter. We're on Facebook at facebook.com/Fargo Talks Fargo. You can follow Sharpie on Twitter at CHARPIE. And you can follow me, Bill, at LEMP as in Paul E. To check that all out. We're on the social networks.
Hit us up.
Peace out. Talk to you Wednesday.
All right, a Billy boy.